Yo. What the fuck? Dude.
After the hotfix, do you consider using Adrenaline Spike perk instead of the armor one? Now I consider using the Weapon Mastery perk because I think longbows are really good right now. They have very high damage and the damage bonuses on them are insane. So the 10% penalty, you can kind of bypass it if you buy like a really good rare and a really good epic longbow. The Adrenaline Spike down to 40%, it is actually really good. I'll actually read you guys what action speed means. Action speed governs the speed at which you interact with weapons, meaning stowing, swapping, reloading, or attacking with weapons, as well as the speed of usage of consumables. So if your HP is at 40%, you gain 15% action speed. That's decent. That's not bad. So you're going to attack way quicker. Everything you do is pretty much faster, with the exception of like magical interaction speed. In some situations, it can make or break your gameplay. That's for sure. So I would for sure give it a try, and then weigh out what you think is better. The 10% defense mastery, it's honestly not even that great. Unless you somehow come across a bunch of good armored gear. I mean, if you're a Slayer fighter, you're going to come across a lot of leather gear. If you come across a lot of leather gear that has high armor rating and stuff like that, maybe some games it would be good to swap out, you know, one of the perks for defense mastery. But Swift and defense mastery, they're not that great. You know, I think the better perks are weapon mastery, and now this adrenaline spike perk is probably very good as well. So I ended up playing a total of 9 games yesterday. I had a couple hours to spare, and I got this really cool longbow here. I decided to do weapon mastery instead of the defense mastery. I don't know, the crossbow does have its pros, but I've been realizing lately that it's probably a good idea to buy a rare or epic bow, because the physical damage bonuses on them are insane, and the 10% penalty, it's not that huge when if you have a freaking bow that does 45 damage with damage bonus on it. Yeah, so this cleric was a tank, man, because I had a decent weapon on. I hit him a couple times, he didn't die, and there he goes. Just in the normal goblin caves, man, this guy, he's kind of yoked. Got a fighter over here. Right here, I knew he was going to close the door again if I were to run out. I decided to jump in. Got a little bit of an advantage there. And 2 hits to the head, 1 body hit, he goes down. So that's a high PDR fighter. He had some good armor on, decent armor. And so for this rogue, I made it seem like that I was low, that he would come after me. That rogue, he was hitting pretty hard, man. I mean, he got me down to half HP with just 2 hits. But he didn't have the greatest gear on. But just little strategies like that can really help you get an advantage. And here we are, game number 2. It's interesting, I'm doing normal goblin caves, and there are caped players in here. So this would be a good kill, because I need a cape. I would say second wind probably saved my life there. Yeah, this dude, he was pretty yoked. Here's where the longbow comes in handy. Boom. I think this game actually killed the entire lobby. 6 players. I think I got six kills here. I see a fighter. I think he's a Slayer fighter, and he is decked out as well. Except he doesn't have a leather cap, I don't think. Maybe he does. I just can't see it. Here's the wizard. Poor wizard. I think he was stock armored. Here, we run into this guy over here. I didn't have to kill him, but I recognized that I was getting most of the kills here, so I wanted to see if I can kill the entire lobby. And Slayer fighter's somewhere up here. And he goes down. He just had better gear than I had. That cloak is better than the cloak that I had on. And he had a pretty decent leather cap. Yeah, so already game number 2, man. We're 133 HP. Pretty decent. 136, 135. He had a better weapon than I had, so in terms of damage. And then here's the last guy. Boom. And we're feeling a ruins run here for game number 3. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're hitting 100 when it comes to just a headshot. Pretty decent. Actually, I should know this by now, but I didn't know that you can mine gold ore down here. I thought it was only in the middle of the map. But this dude ended up having 6 gold ore on him. It's interesting. I've never gotten into like a bow fight from the tower. The tower down on the bridge. I just thought this was a really cool scene. Just a scenery here. This game is really well done. The optimization of it. The graphics. Super well done. And then this guy opened up the portal. He tried to get a little extra. But we got him. The majority of the time I don't like looting, because it's just kind of boring. It's slow. I'll loot on certain occasions when I know I need gear, and I know I need some stuff. But a majority of the time, I just put on some decent gear on, and I go in, and I wait for other players to loot. Just go on a killing spree. That's how I get my loot.
Fucking pussy.
This guy says, seems like PDR Slayer is more viable than Meta Slayer just due to the huge PDR gains. Meta Slayer has between 20 to 25 PDR with good gear, and PDR Slayer has 40 to 55 PDR. I guess everyone would exchange plus 30 PDR for 5 weapon damage. That's the Slayer perk. Moreover, the speed reduction is not that insane. Meta Slayer has 95 to 98 speed, whereas PDR Slayer has 90 to 94. This is again exchangeable for plus 30 PDR. What is your thoughts on this? I would say it depends. If you want to be a tanky boy, then yeah, you definitely don't need Slayer. But the thing about being a tank is, yeah, you are slower, and the sprint does help with that. But I've personally found that if you can get your speed up to 100, maybe 101% as a Slayer fighter, it's insane. Like, the difference in speed is very crazy. You can be any class and be geared out and be any specs, any stats, whatever it is, and you can suck. It just depends on the player. It depends on how you play. It depends on your in-game awareness and your in-game sense. It depends, because you can be a really high PDR, tanky boy fighter. It would take like 8 hits to kill the fighter, and the fighter has second wind, so it's very difficult to kill those high PDR fighters. But like I said, it depends on the player. I've had a lot of success with the 20 to 30% PDR with just regular Slayer fighter, but it's because of the way that I play. Man, that would have been a huge win for that fighter. Unfortunately, he died to the ranger. But that's the example with the arming sword. You could see how fast, like, he hit me right there. He just hit me right before my eyes and I died. So I think the arming sword has its time and place. This patch, it definitely feels a little more encouraging to use the Falchion because of the difference in damage. The difference in damage is just insane. But if you have the good amount of agility and a decent amount of strength, I think the arming sword will do. So right here, we're just kind of gearing back up, and I noticed that this person is selling a lantern for 50 gold that had weapon damage on it. And I was like, oh, I could probably do a flip here, so I did a flip for 150. I was like, wait a minute. Could we just flip lanterns right here? So I saw this guy selling it for 100 Gs. I think it's 2 weapon damage. And he had 2 of them. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to pay, 200 for 2. And just one alone ended up selling for 200 gold. So I pretty much made my money back, minus the 30 gold from the trade fee. I could have sold, the other one for the same amount, 200 gold, banked a big profit there. But I just decided to use it because plus 2 weapon damage combined with a Falchion, that's insane. That's literally insane. So I decided to use it. So here's the gear that we ended up buying and restocking. And we ended up going in for a high roller, game number 6. This dude has some pretty decent Mage Gear on. I mean, he had a ruby silver hood, some very, very good wizard gear. So this was definitely the target here. And here's how it goes. This guy says, do you prefer Falchion over arming? I feel like the swing speed is so slow, even with the Slayer build. I'm an arming sword guy. Unless I happen to find a better one. Mid-raid, I'll run it. Keep trade. If they add auction house, I believe you'll still be able to flip. Yeah, if they add an auction house, I hope they keep trade. I think the trading thing is super unique in a game like this. Dude, it really depends. For this patch in particular, I'm feeling maybe Falchion is a good move because of how insane the damage is. You can hit for so heavy on that thing. But there have been many occasions where I would wipe lobbies using just an arming sword, a really good arming sword. And this patch, a really good one can go up to like 35 damage, plus the freaking Slayer goes up to 40. It really is dependent on your personal preference, how you feel when you play the game. Sometimes I'm feeling like I want a nice swing, and so I would go with like a Falchion. But some days I'm feeling pretty swift, so I would use the arming sword. Arming sword definitely has minus 20 movement speed as opposed to minus 25 movement speed when it comes to the Falchion. If you're trying to be a swifty guy, then yeah, go for the arming sword. But if you don't mind to be a little slower but hit very hard, then you should definitely go with the Falchion. Against the Barbarian, this is just my personal opinion, I think the arming sword is better. I've killed so many barbs using just the arming sword. I think the Falchion can kind of, the movement speed on it and how slow it swings, I think it can mess you up if you're trying to kill a barb who's chasing you or something. With the arming sword, you can kind of quickly jump in, take a hit, jump out. Especially if you're using sprint and stuff like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. This has been a really cool thing to do. I usually just kind of like get online and just start the games. I just start from game 1, just record the entire session and see how it goes. I do a lot of cuts. I got a few comments, people saying they want to see like the full extent of the gameplay. But I personally just prefer to cut them up because some of the parts to me are kind of boring. Like, you know, when you're looting a treasure chest, it just takes a lot of time. And when you're opening a door, I just cut it out, you know, just directly to my character just opening the door. I just personally think that the PvP is like a lot more fun to watch. I could be wrong though. Maybe you guys want to see more lengthy, full played out games. Let me know if you guys prefer to see that. Thank you guys very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.